Well, I'd love to welcome everybody to another Friday live stream here in the Independent Investor Channel. Buckle your seatbelt. Name's Ryan. Been doing the product here for quite some many moons, and just seems like yesterday we kicked off and started foot stomping the importance of financial stewardship in everybody's life. You know what's funny to me is volatility kicks up in the markets, and it seems like everybody wants to start picking sides and start the divisive attitudes. And the irony in the whole thing is wealth building and becoming a participant in the stock market can actually bring people together. It certainly can. I've spoken to so many people over the course of the last 4 to 5 years doing this project. A lot of people know that I pulse in with people directly. And for a lot of people, it's how can I work on my fitness to enter into financial markets. In other words, some people, may be out of control with their spending and they may not even know it. They're their own worst enemy. So, to get kind of control of that stuff and then look at the opportunity to get yourself right before entering into financial markets can really empower those individuals to stepping into such a better place. And so many different spectrums of investors. The cool thing about investing is it does not discriminate. You can be young, you can be old, you can screw it up and you can get it right no matter what your age. You can take little tidbits and little things that can work for some people that may or may not work for you. So application is key in understanding the individual nature of driving toward that individual style for yourself. Super, super important. But investing, man, in and of itself exists outside of people. It really does. It doesn't care what socioeconomic background you come from. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. It doesn't matter what color skin you are. It doesn't matter. The beautiful thing about participating in financial markets, and this is why I'm so dead set on always keeping the focus on approaching this from a perspective of eliminating all emotion in your application, all of it. Okay. And it is so important to parse through the noise. I almost think sometimes with the access of information, it almost causes more damage to the masses than good. I think there's so many young people that are so hungry for wealth that they don't understand that there is so much more value in putting the time into learning the benefits and the psychology of financial markets and learning the value of being a participant, learning the value in taking a company, a good quality company, a good fundamental company into a correction or a bear market, or even, should I say, a recession. And if you've lived through those, and I know there's a lot of folks in the group here that represent some portfolios that have been taken into some pretty aggressive downturns. I mean, for those of you guys that were around in the 2000 and the technology, bubble there with the dot-com era, with the 2009 and 2010 mortgage-backed security crisis, that was a real scare. Brexit as well. Some of these that come to my mind where I remember looking at the portfolio and saying, this is just completely unnatural. Why are we doing this? It doesn't make any sense at all. And it's one of those things, I love using the term, and I know that there has been some that's been thrown out there that the stock market has a 100% recovery rate. Now, past performance is no indication of how the future is going to transpire. But I tell you what, I think there's so many investors out there that run the risk of doing more damage by not participating in financial markets. And do you see how I kind of avoid the word investing all the time? I think when I say investing to a lot of people, and they throw up the red flag, and it's just faux pas. It's just something that they are just too stupid to understand, or they think they have to understand X, Y, and Z when it's actually A, B, and C that they need to understand about the psychology of entering into financial markets. I can say all the time, your best shot of entering into perhaps maybe a managed type of mutual fund or a passive index ETF type of a program. There's the upper echelon of those products. If you follow JL Collins, JL Collins is one of my favorite influencers, and he talks about the importance of the total stock market index. That's why we talk about Vanguard's total market ETF, to where you can take a position in that and you can hold it for a lifetime, and you can set yourself up for the best chance of financial security in your future by taking on the least amount of risk. The irony on that is so many people want to just take that very pure message and bastardize it. You're wrong. I'm right. I'm right because this and that. You're doing it wrong. It doesn't make sense the way you're doing it. You've got to do it my way. You should check out these 3 YouTube channels on here. They've got all the answers. I'm here to tell you, man, YouTube is interesting because it gives everybody a voice. And I find it ironic that there isn't one person on YouTube that I watch, not one, that I don't look at as just another human being. Okay. Imperfections. Yes. Opinions. Yes. Um, Immune from making mistakes? No. Probably been through some life lessons? Probably. Those are the people that I have the most appreciation for and the most respect for, because I tell you what, those intangible lessons from experience go a whole lot further from me than those folks that don't have that experience. That doesn't mean that you can't start on your road at any time, okay? What I find ironic is some of those folks that think they've got all the answers and they've got them right now. I'm here to tell you that that just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in life, and it sure as hell does not exist in the stock market. The stock market, I've said for the people who have been with me for many, many moons, it's one of the most humbling activities. It's one of the most inhuman activities. It is a robotic activity. I love my wife, okay? I don't apply my same love for my wife that I do for the stock market. The stock market has its own unique application that is required. And that is a takeaway for all investors. And I think all investors that are inexperienced in the market try to take the stock market and they want to try to make it something to make sense for themselves. That's not going to happen. The stock market exists outside of people, and the idea of looking at what has been tried and true to work in the stock market, fundamental approaches to try to corral this activity, because the market's going to do one of two things over the long term. It's going to go up and it's going to go down. And you think, well, that's pretty simple, Ryan. Should be pretty simple to, buy low and sell high. The irony in the whole thing is most people completely bastardize that charge right there and completely screw it up. They want to buy the market when everything is hunky dory, everything's going up, everybody's giving each other high fives. We come into the Independent Investor channel and we celebrate. It's awesome. My good friend Christopher Blaine is in the group. Shout out to you. Get well, my friend. I guess you're battling a little bit of an illness, but shout out to you, my friend. But you're quick to recognize, man, I remember the attitude when we come in here and the market's at all-time high, and it goes back to my old onus. It's never really as good as you think that it is, and it's also never as bad as you think that it is. It just is what it is. And I hate to sound cliche about it, but certain applications can provide you the best chance of making the most sense of this opportunity for you and your family. It's that simple. And I really want to premise to each and every one of you guys, you may hear some encouragement, you may hear some inspiration, you might hear some ideas even about the stock market. But here's one thing I will not allow you to do. I will not allow you to come into an opportunity like I provide on the Independent Investor channel and think that I'm more special or more eligible or more credible than the next person. I try awful hard to be unique, but I'm here to tell you guys, if we were having beers and a barbecue in the backyard, you'd be like, man, Ryan, you're the exact same now as you are in your live stream. You're damn right. You're damn right. I think this is missing all the time, where we have this beast called YouTube, owned by Google, 20-to-1 stock split announced this week. but it gives everybody a voice. I don't think everybody deserves a voice. The damnable misery of it is everybody has the opportunity to throw down and buy yourself a nice HD camera, put yourself in front of the computer because everybody has one, and go ahead and offer your comments. That can be a great thing. It can be a great thing. It can also be an extreme detriment, an extreme detriment. The irony is the title of this video here, that you should just panic yourself out because your portfolio and your net worth is going to zero. I've been investing my entire life, and as much fate as I throw at the wind, I do come back to the statement that I make, and I'm dead serious about this. If you're going to live life and you're not going to participate in financial markets, especially for you folks that have the opportunity to do so, because I have folks in my international community that say all the time, you are so lucky. You're so lucky. And for those folks to scoff at that opportunity that's right in front of them, and not take advantage of and not internalize the opportunity to become a participant in the markets. What I mean by that is to internalize the opportunity, the everyday products that you use, the detergent that you use, the Tylenol that's in the cupboard, the Metamucil that you use, Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, stay with me, the vacations that you take down to Florida and the Disney experience, the very nature of this digital anchor that we all have, right, called our Apple iPhone, the service provider that provides us the opportunity to connect with people all over the world, you know, those opportunities to leverage, some of these healthcare and pharmaceutical companies that are making breakthroughs to make our lives even better, to turn down and not acknowledge that not only is there great opportunity in financial markets, but it has been tried and true, a place where wealth building can take place at its granular level. The damnable misery of it is people have a great way of taking a beautiful thing and screwing it up royally. You'll take it and it's not good enough. That 3% dividend that I earn is just not good enough. Somebody's doing something and projecting maybe that they're providing a little bit of a testimonial to the success that they're having, but that's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not fast enough. You're not getting me to that retirement age at 30 years old, which I find interesting enough. I'm 43 years old, folks, man, and I just cannot believe some of the attitudes that people have nowadays about just slowing the hell down. Slow down. You're already a winner. Life is a gift, man. You're already a winner. Slow down. If I could entrust to you from the deepest parts of my wisdom, find meaning, find meaning. And if you're looking for that meaning in the stock market, I can tell you what, you are looking in the wrong place, because the stock market in and of itself is extremely shallow if you want some sort of reciprocation. The stock market is what it is. It is a wealth building vehicle. Okay. It's how you go about customizing that wealth building opportunity for you. Stock market's going to change, but you can customize that opportunity for yourself to really make sense for you, to get you off the sideline, to go from a non-participant to a participant in financial markets. You can walk into Home Depot and say, how many people in here actually own shares in this company? It's something to be proud of, guys. It's not something to apologize for. It's not. Be proud of it. Advocate for those people out there across the world, man, that cannot enjoy financial markets like me and you can. Advocate for those people that don't have an opportunity to break out of a lower economic class. And by nature of us advocating for those folks that are empowered, we represent more than just ourselves. But first, we represent ourselves. Then we represent a grander, empowered community of people who understand psychologically that, yeah, there might be an ease of entrance through one or two products out there, and the account that is held to be an independent, self-directed investor in the markets, but we understand why. And the understanding of why sometimes takes a lifetime to evolve to that place, to where we can really embrace this opportunity. It's super, super important, guys. And if you say, well, investing is gambling, Ryan, I can't put dollars to risk. You can. The question is, how much of your life do you want to carve out? I work really, really hard to teach the audience on how to put this opportunity in a box and keep it there. The stock market's not going to make you happy. It's not. It may make you money and it may lose you money. It's not going to make you happy. Sure as hell doesn't make me happy like the way my wife does. It doesn't make me happy the way my kids do. It doesn't make me happy the way that my job does. For all you people who accuse me of being part of the rat race, I'd like to call out Rat Pack Stocks, who's in the group here, man. I'd like you guys to welcome Rat Packs because he's working really hard. I enjoy his channel, so shout out to him. I really enjoy Paul's message. It's kind of the back of my mind when I talk about those experienced folks that they demand our respect. They demand it. Me at 43, not so much. You can make your pop shots at me. That's fine. I'm still growing and evolving. I feel like a kid in the back of my mind anyway. But I do have some life experience. There's no doubt about it. But I enjoy Paul's message. I really do. I just want to welcome everybody in the gallery here that's made their way into the Friday live stream. Always looking to deliver. You got my locked in focus for you guys, man, because if there's one investor at a time that can look me in the eyes and understand how passionate I am about finding that spark, maybe it's in your bottom right foot and your toe, maybe it's up here, maybe it's in your heart, I don't know, but you got to find it for yourself. I can provide the spark for you. There's no doubt about it. And that's what we aim to do on the Friday live stream, fast as 60 minutes on YouTube. Welcome to everybody. Be back in a moment. A lot of people may question why it is I do what I do. I just had a friend of mine tell me that she went in to sit down with a financial planner, went through the whole spiel with her and said that they couldn't help her because her net worth wasn't above the bracket of $750,000 to help this person who had just sat through the spiel. I am adamant. I am adamant about fighting a system that seemingly keeps their thumb on people. And if you can find out just for the sheer cause of it, look at the prospects of taking control of your own money. For a lot of people, it's scary. A lot of people are like, dang, now you got my attention. This is interesting. In a system that is designed to put their thumb on you, okay? Over the course of 40 years invested with a financial planner, you will surrender 60% of your profits. That's not magic, that's mathematics, okay? It's not magic, it is mathematics. I highly encourage you guys, if you want to be an empowered investor, understand the effects just over 3% of your invested capital over your lifetime. And some people are turning in and registering a lifetime of investments of 40 plus, maybe even 50 years. You want to talk about the impact of the bottom line. You put a home mortgage on the top of that that's amortized over 30 years. The bank owns you and the financial planners own you. You want to talk about the power of a liberated dollar? Well, you've just anchored your dollars to the ground in two capacities, living the American dream. Okay? I'm here to blast all those barriers out, man. It's just that simple. 72 patrons in this live stream right now, man. I give this live stream if there was 3 people in here or 10,000. It doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. And honestly, man, God willing, if I have the opportunity, man, to speak to people, I certainly will. It's what I was put here to do. There's no doubt about it. I live it, I breathe it, I work it, I've seen it in my application. And the amount of mistakes that I've put forward in my own personal application, I'm trying to look back and give you that 20 years of experience. Talk to that person in their late teens, early 20s, who's just starting out and is sitting across from me and is like, man, Ryan's laying down the goods tonight. What are those mistakes to avoid? What is it that I need to look for in my application? How do I do this, Ryan? How can I achieve that maximum amount of potential wealth, by taking on the minimum amount of risk in my application. Super, super important to understand that ratio right there, guys. It's all about the risk reward. And I have met people from around the world. India certainly is really, really of interest to me. Our brothers and sisters in England, our brothers and sisters to the north in Canada as well. Phenomenal investors. And it does not mean that you have to come from money. Doesn't mean that at all. There's folks that are pulling down less than $20,000 a year, and they are phenomenal wealth builders. They're phenomenal because they get it. If it's if it's $6.71 a week that they've got in surplus, then that will go away. And they understand that the time value over time, if they just buy into a plan and not fall off tilt, which Americans are really good at because they tune into a lot of big YouTube channels and they're just like, yeah, sell everything, man. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, that my title to this video is meant to scoff at every single one of those applications, man. Every single one of them, okay? If you're looking at that, you're following that type of guidance, and it's contrary to what it is makes sense to you in your customized application, it is wrong. Nobody has the right to sit across from you and tell you what you need to do with your money, myself included. Nobody has that immunity. And I'll attack anybody that thinks that they do. I'll attack anybody who thinks that their opinion is the governing opinion over and above all. It's just that simple. Okay. You've got to understand that your awareness to financial markets is really the key in customizing that application for you. That's the key. Make it make sense for you. Okay. Come into the independent investor. No problem. I'll provide you all kinds of fire. This is how I am all the time. Okay. Have yourself a drink, no problem, okay? But as far as me telling you what it is that you're going to do with your program, I don't play ball. I just don't, okay? We do provide testimonial a week to week and give you guys report updates and status on the portfolio. I'm glad to do that for you guys now. Why do I do this? Because nobody else does it, and I think it's funny. And I think the real barrier and the status quo is if you like talk to money about money with your friends or your colleagues, it's like, I don't know, it's really a secretive deal. You know what I mean? I don't get that. Maybe I'm wired differently. I don't know. It's not really that big of a deal. I look at money as the renderings of a well-laid plan. I do. And the more commonplace, regular, and I do say regular, working class people who take pride in their work, who take pride in their trades, electricians, carpenters, right? Plumbers, truck drivers, okay? Who take pride in their work and are just trying to make a living for themselves and their family and maybe put a little away for their financial future. Those are the people that I advocate for, okay? And if you can grab a little more knowledge and apply this for yourself, it's going to make you that much more powerful, and it really should give you the opportunity to walk around with your head a little bit higher because you're going to know stuff that the average person doesn't know. That's why I'm so fired up. Every second of my delivery is super important to make sure and get to people. And I know that people take this and they're like, man, you got to watch this guy. Just pay attention. If you don't like him, no problem. Sure as hell don't subscribe to the channel. He doesn't care anyway. He doesn't care. I don't. I really don't care. I have thought about hiding the subscriber count from my channel, honestly, because either I'm a target to challenge, which that's okay too, I guess. I don't come on and profess like I know it all either. I don't. But I'm also, I do not govern what it is that I say. Okay. This is America, Jack. We say what we want as long as it is done with some tact and with some couth. Say what you want. Okay. Consume the content if you will. If not, no big deal. No love lost. You're the one that's missing out. There's no doubt about it. Our young people need to hear this message. They need to understand that there is value in other things in life other than the stock market. Stop looking for your satisfaction in that Ferrari or that Lamborghini that you're going to get next week. Stop looking for that, man. You're going to live a shallow life, man. Spend the majority of your time looking for companionship. Spend the majority of your time in self-reflection and self-study. Find spiritual actualization. However you need to get there, get there. Stop looking at the stock market as being that. So I declare these portfolios to you guys as just renderings of a well-laid plan. And that's all it is. Okay. Account holdings here. We added a couple things here. Obviously, the Google split. I'm pretty excited about. Um, Not a whole lot here in additions outside of TQQQ, which does supplement my JL Collins favorite VTI. VTI is one of those funds that it could house 5,000, it could hold 500,000. It's comprised of around 4,000 stocks, and it does represent the total U.S. market. Extremely low expense. Put it in a self-directed Roth IRA account, you're good to go. That right there is the swim lane that I think a lot of people need to be looking into. And they say, God, what did Ryan just say? Rewind it. I missed it. God dang it, Heffy. I missed it. And you play it again. Self-directed Roth IRA account, you'll find out that you have a $6,000 cap to contribute to. If you cannot meet that 6,000, which I think it relates to the masses out there, the masses need to be looking at the self-directed Roth IRA account to start. If you can do that and you can do it with comfort and ease, then you can look at all these other opportunities with cash accounts and taxable brokerage, joint accounts if you're married, whatever it may be. But VTI can really be that standalone baseline fund that you put in there, and you basically own the entire US stock market. Okay. VTI over the long term does do quite well because you've got the small cap exposure in there as well. So when small caps do shine, it does quite well. TQQQ, nice supplement for that. I've been wanting to own it for a long time. Matt Money is an investor in it, and thank you for for kind of covering that opportunity. I really appreciate it. And then Blackstone Group, which is one that I've held previously. I should have just held it all the way through. One of the things that I'm going to talk about with regard to ground rules, some of the things that you should take into consideration if you're entering into the financial markets. I'm going to give you 6 ground rules to kind of think about here. And one of those is don't sell so much. Buy assets and just hold them forever. It's the smartest thing you can possibly do. Buy the most quality assets out there and just hold them the rest of your life. And that's what a lot of people miss when I'm just putting out Hyliion videos every single week, is they don't understand that 91% of my assets are tied up in the majority of the philosophy that I profess is the way that most people, the vast majority of investors, need to seek out their exposure to financial markets. The irony in that is I come out with those fundamental wealth building videos and they don't do very well on YouTube. No problem. I continue to foot stomp them. I throw them out there every now and then, and I'm like, dude, that's actually a useful video, and they get 300 or 400 views. It's like, people are funny. They want NFTs and they want cryptocurrency and they want that Lambo next week, and they're going to do whatever they can do to follow like sheep to find out at some point the rude awakening that very, very few ever follow a path like that and end up tripping and falling into the Lamborghini. Not only that, but for those that do, I question the level of appreciation that they have, because I tell you, I wouldn't have traded where I came from nothing. I grew up in the country. We grew up with no money, zero. For my entertainment, we used to go down. I tell the story all the time, man. Roll around in the mud, go skinny dipping in the pond. We didn't have much money, and we were well cared for growing up, and it was an awesome upbringing. So everything that we get up to this point is actually it's an appreciation in what it is that's possible in this life, man. And that's a beautiful thing. If I could impart to you or wish upon the grander independent investor audience, it would be just that. In one word, perspective. It is all about perspective and appreciation. I don't want wealth if I can't appreciate it. I don't want it. And that's the cool thing about some of these very few channels that I aspire to now as I'm evolving in my application. Most channels piss me off, so I don't watch them. They just get me down. I don't watch them. It's their big thing about I'm right about everything, and you suck and you're doing it wrong. And it's like I don't. Who do you think you are? Um, You'll find it interesting in my application if I can't say something nice about another YouTube content creator, or if I feel like I want to call them out, I reserve the right to not say anything. Yeah, if I can't say anything nice, that's just the route that I take personally in my application. Take the high road, baby. All right, here's the Roth one here. BlackRock was the big position added in during this downturn. So these are companies that I've looked at for quite a while, guys, to add into the portfolio. I bought 10 shares. So that was a relatively large position there. Obviously, big oil is doing well. The longs in this position, Disney, JP Morgan Chase, Microsoft, ONL, spinoff of Realty Income, Pepsi, VOO, the flagship S&P 500, ETF in here with the small cap growth, as well as continuing to take it on the chin a little bit with some of my speculative positions. Again, a lot of people are like, you suck, Ryan, you're going to zero. Well, I'm not going to zero. If you see here, while everybody's talking about selling everything that they own, I am up in every single one of my accounts week over week. Last week, I was down in every single account. It just takes 1 week. In the eyes of the stock market, 1 week of a rule of measure means nothing. It means zero. I do this for entertainment purposes only. And I think people get a value out of the tutorial that I throw in between on really what this means and how to keep this in context a little bit. But I do want to show investors what's possible. It is possible to garner wealth. And just to put this into context for you guys, I started my career. This will be 17 years in military service this year. So 17 years ago, I started this very account right here with $1,500. I sold my Mustang convertible 5.0, 93 5.0. I sold it for 3 grand. 1,500 went into this account. 1,500 went into this account. So we're talking about 200,000 and $225,000 of wealth here from a $3,000 buildup started some 17 years ago. I can be rest assured, guys, and I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you guys, a lot of you guys are going to live a life a whole hell of a lot longer than 17 years. And I tell you what, if I could have pulled my head out of my backside earlier and understood the application as a self-directed investor, which I started when I was about 34 years old. This was about 9 years ago. I started self-directed investing. So all of the years previous to that, I had been investing, but I had been predominantly a mutual fund investor, as well as I thought I was a stockbroker. At some point, I thought I was Gordon Gekko, got involved in penny stocks, lost my ass, all the things that you just shouldn't do, you don't need to do. Yes, you can make some money. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The risk is not worth the reward. Okay. The reward of taking it slow is what I advocate for. And that's absolutely what you should do. Put yourself on a program because you can control the amount of funding that goes into the account every single month through your dollar cost average schedule. All right. The next one is the Vanguard Sector Specialty ETF. This is up week over week. These are up handily, I might add, doing quite well here. These are each of the 11 sectors in my custom allocated ETF portfolio with Vanguard. It does quite well. There's a $20,000 bill in here, nothing crazy. It's a relatively smaller account, but man alive, I have not touched this account. I'm careful to not even breathe on this account because most investors like myself are our own worst enemy. Okay. I know that by tooling with this, and I'm going to show you some other accounts that are completely 100% passive. You suck, Ryan. You're a Hyliion investor. Okay, I suck. That's fine. You're not listening. Okay. I love you too. No problem. I have tough skin. You want to take pop shots? Go ahead. No problem. If it makes you feel better, no problem. Let me have it. I don't come onto social media with some sort of dream world expectation that I'm not going to get some sort of hate. Because why? Because there's a lot of hate and discontent in the world, especially for people who are advocating and also walking the walk for a successful mindset and trying to teach others about that successful mindset. And I do rub feathers. I get it. I get under people's skin. That's good. Some people deserve to have their skin gotten under every now and then and again, okay? Deal with it. It's all right. All right. We're not going to make a difference if I get on here and just tiptoe through the tulips and not make people understand that most people don't get the importance of getting this. Okay. Most people need to understand at least an iota more than what they think they understand about personal finance and financial stewardship and discipline. They need more. It's just that simple. And that's why we continue to foot stomp it, because it's really an infinite topic. It's infinite. I don't struggle for content. I got all kinds of content, no doubt about it. If I had more time, that's what I like about Paul with Rat Packs, is because from my understanding, he's retired and he does this for fun. That he says that stuff, it resonates with me. I do not believe that I think he deserves a lot more subscribers. I do, because I think that genuine approach, it goes a long way with me, but I do resonate with his, maybe he's not really looking to get a bunch of followers that, are blind following, he wants to generate churn in the conversation. And I tell you what, Americans specifically are really, really bad at combative dialogue. We're really bad. Europeans are phenomenal at it. They'll get spirited, and they're just talking. They're just communicating, man. Seriously. But you say the wrong thing to the wrong American, and it's like, holy moly, you'd think that you insulted their mother. And that's not the case. You're just trying to provide your perspective on a specific issue, and you can't do that. You've got to see it my way, and just like the way the thousand of other people behind me see it. Ah, ah, a bunch of groupthink. Think on your own. Your unique thought is a beautiful thing, man. I had a psychology teacher in college say, you know what, Ryan, you got a lot of interesting things to say, man. You should talk more, because I never talked. Through high school, I just did my work and played my sports and never said a whole lot. I think people need to take that and just say something. Say something, say something. Like Bob Marley says, say something, okay? It's all right. So what if you say the wrong thing? Just say something. So what if somebody nitpicks what it is that they have to say, or what they have to say is better than what you had to say? To hell with all that. Just say it. It's all good. We're not going to get anywhere unless we're willing to step forward and put our opinions out there on a specific issue. It's just that simple. This just turned over to 80 holdings in the portfolio. We had BHP Billiton split, I guess, into two different companies, which was kind of cool. So I allocated the split allocation to this, and it did click over to 80 holdings in this. I'm hard pressed to pick up my phone every single day and have an email that says you've earned a couple bucks in dividends. 6, $8, 12. I got one for 16 this week. I don't even know what the company was, but with 80 holdings in there, those little dollars are starting that compounding dividend effect going forward. It's a wonderful way of seeking exposure to the market. I wouldn't recommend doing 80 holdings with $50. I'm just, there's 27,000, about 28,000 in this account. So relatively small amount of money for this many holdings, but I like the ability to have a few $100 in each of these holdings. I chronicle this on the channel all the time. It's also available in the bottom of every single one of my videos. Take it, it's free. I give it away. It's free. If you like the idea, you can take the framework of the portfolio and change it to your liking. You can say, Ryan, I hate smoking. I don't want to invest in Altria, or I hate Canadian banks. I don't want to invest in, Royal Bank of Canada. Okay, no problem. Take the information and you can use that framework. And that's kind of where the coaching piece comes on the independentinvestorgroup.com. We roll out those opportunities to the Viper group. I provide audio feeds to the WhatsApp group that I've got. It's a lot of fun. And I don't want people in that group that do not want to be in there. Okay. These are serious folks who are part of my family. It's just that simple. And I go the nth degree to protecting them the way I protect myself with regard to the mental edge. It's just that simple. You think that this is something physically that you're going to do to make this thing right, you're going to really put some effort into it. Futile. It ain't going to happen. You got to get the mind right. It's a mental application that is going to win out every single time. But this is also up week over week. Got a little bond portfolio. This sucker's up every week. And this is a little project that I started, 5, 6 weeks ago to put a little money into the bond portfolio. This covers extended duration, long, medium, and short duration bonds in the M1 Finance. It's a hybrid arm of the same portfolio that I just showed you there. Never hurts. I make 2.6% off of this. Nice little clip. It's fine. No big deal. It never goes down. It does nothing but go up. I fund this with about 50 bucks a week. Nothing too crazy. That's just what we do. This is my bread and butter. This is back up over 60. If you guys remember, I took it in the shorts over the last couple weeks on this. It rolled off a little bit, and that's okay. Passive investing does this. You got to remember, man, 20% is my current clip. I openly share that with you guys. 20% of my income goes into this now. I started with 2. So is there a starting place? Do you need to do 20% on the onset? Hell no. Get that start. I started with 2% of my income, 2. And I started in 2011. We're in 2022. You guys do the math. If you're like, man, should I do a 401k? Should I do a 403b? Should I do a 457? Well, I don't know. Do you think that it would be cool 10 years from now if you start now to actually have 60, 70, 80? Maybe you do better. Maybe you don't. Maybe you only have 50 in there. I don't know. That's not the point. The point is, look at the renderings from just starting something that I started and I don't miss this money. I don't. Could I take it out and fall on tilt and go buy a car because society says that that's what I need to do? No, I find more value in gifting this to my kids someday because I don't need the money. I transcend to a better place, guys. Okay? It is not going to make you happy. Spend the majority of your time looking for those things that are going to make you happy. It's just that simple. All right? Robinhood has the growth in there. That's up week over week. You notice a theme here. This is the mid caps. We're up week over week. These are exploratory. I have not chronicled these on the channel. I'm doing a little bit of I'm doing my thing on the channel, and that's going to be my way for a while with highly on videos every Sunday because that's what I want to do. It's fun. I enjoy it. People are like, you're long-winded. No problem. I'll send you a refund. No problem. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. It's YouTube. You chose to come in. Okay. I don't make riches off of putting my commentary out there on a company like 𝗖𝐊 that I'm passionate about. Leave if you don't like it. It's no problem. There's Globex. This is going to be interesting. I want to see this Globex project here in the NASDAQ. Supposed to come out and be listed to the NASDAQ this year. They're pulling down huge contracts. They just signed the contract with American Mobile, which is Mexican telecom. Huge contract. Another one in the works for an Australian telecom company. Company's firing on all cylinders, man. They do great work. All the servers located in Switzerland, not subject to the Cloud Act of 2019 here in the US. All right, super important. Little crypto account, nothing crazy here. I don't recommend this for the faint of heart. We are up week over week. Bitcoin doing great. This is not investing. This is stupid, is what it is. Can it make some money? Yes, it definitely can make money. This is in a Roth IRA account, so a little bit different on my application. I've become an investor in these cryptocurrencies. Could it go to zero? Certainly. I almost kind of wish that it would and prove to everybody how stupid this is. It's the greatest financial espionage that the Chinese has ever placed on the US. And if they pull it off, it will be the greatest financial hack ever in the history of financial hacks. And it'll be worth $2,500 of my money to watch it go down the toilet and watch a bunch of YouTubers be like, damn, I don't have anything else to say, right? Up week over week there, $4.74. In the independent investor channel, we're still good. We can still put food on the table. It is just a digital number. This is not a pile of money sitting for me at the bank. This is my digital number that we look to deploy in strategic buckets and put to work for us while I'm busting my hump, getting value out of my job that I go to every single day to support the family. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Let's get to some questions, guys. I don't know if I'll get to the lesson tonight, but there's a good gallery in here. I just cruised over, man. I just cruised over. I got Rick in the game here. Sorry, I'm late. Don't be sorry. You're all good, man. I love you, Rick. I love everybody. I'd like to see a little less divisiveness amongst the community. I'm going to really try to foot stomp that on my Sunday message. I think there's a lot of people that are extremely passionate about what it is that they're doing. I think it's super important for folks to understand that there is probably some emotion tied up in this thing, and there shouldn't be. But I tell you, for a guy that if somebody looked at my position and said, "Man, you've lost that much money, Ryan. Are you okay?" And people presume to think that they know where I'm coming from or what the backstory was to justify that. Most of my highly on holdings is house money anyway. Now, does that give me justification to just willy-nilly throw it to the moon? No, it doesn't. But it speaks to my conviction on the company. It certainly does. And this is why now every week, I've got Paul here in the group who does a lot more frequent videos than I do, and I like it. I don't care if you want to just call people out or you want to disagree with this or that or whatever it else, man. I'm hungry for information, man. It's just that simple. And amongst the highly on community, man, it's tough because they're just not providing that information. Now there are people out there in the community, and I saw Rick's post today, and it was kind of like the opinion was great, and part of me has that same opinion to say I know they're being close to the vest, protecting the IP, et cetera, et cetera. I buy that to an extent, okay? But the sheer reality of it is, holy moly, guys, you don't have to be afraid to offer status updates on the company. I want to feel like I'm part of the experience as well. In other words, the very cause that I'm investing in is very, very real. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions for this earth is something that means a lot to me. I'm looking to make money in the company. I'm looking to grow and evolve with the company. And if I feel like there's a lack of information and I'm not getting that transparency and a part of the experience, and there's goings on behind the scene that I'm not privy to or should be made more privy to, or if there was opportunity to be made privy to that we're just not being made privy to, that's what I have a problem with. And to each his own. I read Rick's comment today and I was like, yeah, I get that. I totally understand where you're coming from. Part of me feels that way too. In a couple of years, is it going to matter? Either we look back on this whole deal and we're just all like, we were duped, or we're going to say, what in the hell were we bitching about? Yeah. And, I look at it from a granular perspective and it's like, look at all of the pedigree. I do this on the highly on videos all the time. All this, the factory, the team. I think Thomas Healy is a good person. I don't think he's a bad person, right? So when you look at all the pedigree and all the work that's brought them to this place, is it more feasible that they're going to do something in their future rather than fall on tilt and do nothing and dissolve away? Time will only tell, and I will not project those two outcomes. My bullish conviction speaks to the latter, being that I believe that they're going to do something special. And I'm going to continue to believe that because I believe we're so early on in this cycle that judging the company right now is kind of futile. Some of those tweets that I put out that are pretty scathing. I get DMs all the time that are like, even I thought your tone on Twitter was pretty off base, Ryan, but now I'm pissed off. Thomas Healy sold 400,000 shares again this week. I'm pissed off. You're the voice for that. I didn't really get affected in that stock sale. When I got to thinking about it a little bit more, do I think the optics are bad? Yes, I do. Anytime the top guy sells, it's bad. And you can tell me I'm wrong. You can disagree. You suck, Ryan. You don't have the big picture, right? Sure. I've only been investing my entire life, right? If you're going to tell me that the top guy selling is completely normal with the stock price at $4.13, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just will agree to disagree with you. That's all. And I wish it wasn't going on, because the last thing this needs is more negative sentiment built on top of it. We need a positive catalyst. want to feel good about this. I'd like to get this sucker above 10 bucks, 10, 12, 10, 12 bucks by the end of the year. I think it'd be great. I'll stop highly on videos if that happens. No doubt about it. This thing goes from 4 to 7. You're going to have people to the moon. It's the good, but jump on board. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Like it was more of a buy at 7 than it is at $4.13. You see the reverse application. I'm drilling hard right now when the stock is basing at an all-time low. Could it go to 2? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't know. It seems to be finding some level of support here as we move into what is going to be, and it's been projected to be, a nice earnings call. I think they're going to surprise to the upside. I think they're going to continue the streak of beating. I think this will be their sixth beat. I think hopefully they can surprise and put something on the books that's respectable in way of some revs. I don't know, maybe 3/4 mil. I think that'd be great. 500,000, I'd be happy with that too. Maybe realize that 359 on the accounts receivable book. I think that'd be great too. So we're kind of building up to something special here, but I just have a hard time understanding that all that pedigree has been put into motion here for nothing. I have a hard time believing, because I do wholeheartedly believe that there is a need in the marketplace, but we'll see as things transpire. Stay tuned. I will be coming out with another highly on video Sundays, no doubt about it. Nothing's going to stop me doing that. Nothing. I'm long-winded. Okay. Yep. I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm not. I do what I want, how I want, and when I want. If you don't like that mentality, I would implore you, don't come to the channel, but maybe pick up a piece of that on your own. I think more people need to have a little bit more of a fighter's attitude in this life. Okay, don't be so blasé about your opportunity. All right, good stuff. Let me cruise through here. BlackRock, it owns and holds there. It does. They've got 10 trillion in assets under management. They own the government pension program. It's one that I've liked for a long, long time. Okay, so it's a good holding. It's a long holding. It's easy to own the stock. It's a fantastic asset manager, and they do a great job in deploying that. So very good stuff. Highly on equals removal of methane. It's truly that easy, and those are the types of themes and consensuses that anybody, whether or not you're a bull or a bear, can get behind. Absolutely. Look, if Hyliion gets bought up by Dana or Meritor or another major, no problem. There will be no love lost, because I would like to see this company kind of evolve. If I can participate in that evolution, wonderful. I'm all about it. Okay. But that is where my conviction lied from the very beginning. Okay. It is with that very opportunity to take what would have been off gas to the atmosphere and take it and burn it as fuel. The technology is there. I think we're just at an interesting a moment in time where fleets have gotten so used to running one way, and the paradigm shift now is knocking on the door. Hyliion and a couple of others, not many, but a couple of others and a couple of majors are working on it and saying, maybe now is the time. Maybe now's the time that we start rocking it out. Okay. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to go a little overtime. If you guys don't want to stick around overtime with me, no problem. We're going to start winding it down, but I am going to get to some of these comments in the comment section. Great message tonight. Appreciate you. Stay tough. So glad to have you. Sober Trades is in the group. You frequent a lot of messages, and you do actually foot stomp that camaraderie piece, man. And I want to foot stomp that message. I'd like to try to advocate for being a little bit more positive, even to those folks that are as contrary as they can be on the opinion. That's what makes a discussion. And I think we need to elevate our tolerance to constructive dialogue. I really do. I think we need to step into a better place and not be so divisive. It drives me up the wall, and it really disappoints me when I kind of participate in that. It really does. I feel bad. It's not me. It's just not me. As far as Hyliion goes, there might be emotional injects that I'm a human being. I own 11,000 shares of the company. Okay. And I'm a tough bastard. I know how to apply this gig, but I'm also a human being. I'm not a robot. Okay. I do take things at face value. And if you were to ask me, do I think that Thomas Healy is a bad person. Do I think Hyliion is a scam? No, I don't. In all honesty, if he's duped me and I sit across from interviews and I look at how sincere he is, as close as to the best as he is with his information, I wish he was a little more charismatic, but he's not. you know I'm my own CEO of my own company, and I'm as charismatic as I need to be. He's running a major company, and I think he's trading lightly, and I can respect that. To Rick's point, I think that was his point on the on his comment today, and I did appreciate it. SoFi probably my highest conviction. I totally agree. I doubled down. I did buy some SoFi Leaps this week as well, along with my 𝑪𝑎𝑛𝓋𝑎 and 𝗋𝑎 Leaps. And Paul might be interested. He raised an eyebrow on that one. Um, is 𝗋𝑎 a scam? Boy, there was some pretty scammy stuff that rolled out. There's no doubt about it. But I can't deny the good stuff that's coming out of it. I'm a little more bullish on 𝗖𝐋𝐈𝖖𝐊 actually with their international exposure, to be honest with you. But I think as the technology transpires over the time, maybe these companies get bought up. I don't know. Are they going to be able to stand on their own? I don't know. I'm in the money on both of them. I picked up 𝗖𝐋𝐈𝖖𝐊. I bought the long calls when it was below 5. I'm obviously in the money now. The stock is just over 5, and we'll see how it goes. 2024, if I've got the option to buy 𝗖𝐋𝐈𝖖𝐊 at $5 a share, it might be a gold mine for me. It might not. I don't know. I could sell the calls back right now and make money on it. I've had the calls now for 3-4 days. I'm up 30%. No big deal, right? But the idea there is to kind of wag that technology into the future because, gosh, I think even with Hyliion and 𝗋𝑎 and 𝗖𝐋𝐈𝐿, I just think we are so premature on this deal. And I don't know if that was partially to blame for the SPAC market to bring these things to bear to public markets for public scrutiny. And they are getting scrutinized right now. Boy, they are getting pulverized. And maybe some of it's justified. Maybe some of it's justified. Yep. Yep. No doubt about it. Got silent alert in the house, man. Fantastic. It's great to see you, man. Generational banking shift. Yeah. SoFi. And it was awesome to see that provisional bank charter get issued. That's going to be huge. That is going to be huge. Absolutely bullish on SoFi's ability to really put that suite of wealth building in the same bucket for people. I just think it's cool. Like I'm with Bank of America old school. Do they really need all these physical locations? Nah, they don't. I mean, I despise going into the bank anymore. And that coming from a 43-year-old, think about these young people who are like, you know what? I want to do my banking right here. Who gives me the best shot at that? SoFi fits that bill, no doubt about it. So they're on the front wave of the banking and the financial institutions going forward. They're going to benefit from being able to take money at the 0% level and lend that out at the federal rate. So those are profits from zero to the federal rate to the bottom line. SoFi's, I don't know why it's sold off so much. I have no idea. It's a fickle market. It's crushing anything out there that Facebook took it on the chin this week. Oh, it was a good quarter. It was a split tape. EPS was down just marginally, 4.36%, I believe. And the earnings were, gosh, what was revenues? Less than 36 billion, right? If I'm not mistaken, just less than 36 billion. That's a monster. That's a monster, and the margins on that at the ad rates that they charge, that continually go up. Companies have to pay it. They think it's all about the loyalty of the user base. It's not. Companies have to do business with Facebook. It's a wonderful business model. So, hey, Ryan, what do you think about Wealthfront? They have U.S. direct indexing over 100. What I've looked at Wealthfront, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting, and correct me if I'm wrong. They are the robo advisor on the West Coast. Is that correct? Um, it's interesting. I'm a big advocate for the self-directed approach. The VTI is going to charge you 0.03. I know I was involved for a short time on the other one that's over here, the robo advisory, and I might be mixing those up. Wealthfront, I've looked at these briefly, But man, there's so many things out there. But I will look into it and I will provide an opinion next week on that. I'm sorry I don't have more specifics, but I think that's what it is. But yeah, I don't know, man. Putting people in charge of their own money, man, is kind of where I'm at. It's super important. Here, SoFi should be higher on the radar. Massive growth. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Michael Babcock. They own 5%. They sure do. There's a lot of major institutions. I look at the institutional ownership on Hyliion, and I'm convinced that there is more support on the floor than they're given credit for. There's no doubt. It gives me some comfort to know that that support in the safety net is there. And I'll hold the shares indefinitely. This is where myself and Rick and a lot of the other bulls and a lot of the other patrons, you know, a lot of YouTube channels that are bullish on the company, and they don't need to own stock in the company. They don't, make no mistake. There's a ton of people. I don't want to speak for Paul, but he speaks for himself on his message when he talks about his belief in wanting this to succeed. What I kind of don't understand is those people out there that are so adamant in driving this opportunity. I'm not sure where that motivation comes from. Don, I mean, if I'm going to see a company fail, let's see Altria fail. Really, they're killing people. Yeah, right. Come on, you know, let's not continue to stymie technology. All right, let's facilitate the development of technology. Okay, and I do separate the fact that I am a stock owner in the company. I totally get it, man. But I'd like to see the company succeed. That's my humble opinion, honestly. All right. Eric Weaver, she shrugs. Do you think with the new hire at Hyliion being with Meritor and a former CEO, it's a possibility that Meritor, I've thought about it. I saw a piece of correspondence. It was a very well done video on the Meritor e-axle, and it did not mention Hyliion one time. And perhaps some of you guys can comment and say that I'm misapplying, but it seemed to me that Meritor was coming out with their own product. Now, whether or not they look to consume the IP from Hyliion just to absorb it, Meritor's been around a long time. They know what they're doing. They're very good. They're very well established. Their customer base, their sales across the board. I'm not sure what their strategic angle is here. Stand by for rolls. There's going to be fireworks, guys. If you think that this thing is going to go silent into the night, you are sorely mistaken. It's just not going to happen, okay? Hyliion has made waves, and it has got attention. The technology is there. I do believe that the Hypertruck ERX does perform as advertised. I do. I certainly do. And I believe their carbon score can produce net negative results. I believe that. Okay. Now, whether or not they're able to stand alone on their own and even put a dent in this larger institution, my doubts have absolutely crept into the picture now. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I have more hope as opposed to sheer conviction from last year. Now, I mean, we're talking about a stock price that's been pulverized, the stock market. And I may try to jump on the call. I may try to get a question in on the earnings. Absolutely. Ryan Chartier, Cornerstone Capital Solutions, independent investor. You know, I would say congratulations about your 2021 first year in the books here. But it's been dismal. It's been horrendous. The elephant in the room, the neon green elephant in the room, it was a horrendous year, down 90% from peak to trough. Horrible, right? You guys want me to interview the coffee cup? I might do that Sunday. That might be kind of fun. Might be kind of fun. I got to be in my element, but I think if they bought Hyliion, it is what it is. I was chatting it up with one of my friends via DM here, and it was like that. I don't know. That might be its saving grace. Who knows? There might be enough there salvageable with the battery technology, some of the IP, some of the software systems, the intellectual positions that they have, some of the tech positions that they have, some of their engineers that they have with Hyliion. Just absorb them and start going at this thing from more of a collective. Because right now, Hyliion's on an island, and it's, excuse me, it's quite obvious that they have a hard time surviving on the island, unless it is just that premature and the interest that's going on behind the scenes I'm missing. Okay, but we'll just see. Jamie, not confident it will. Might be one of the learning lessons. It could very well be. I don't know if you guys are talking about. Thank you very much. Yeah, for you guys that are not familiar with Paul's channel, please love to provide that segue to his channel. From me personally, it's one of the few channels that I frequent now. To be honest with you, my time is just way too valuable not to provide to somebody else, but it's just consumed by other things, service, coaching, making whatever little bit of content that I can squeeze through and continue to remain somewhat relevant and making sure that I'm foot stomping my message. But Paul's channels here, you find him over there at Rat Pack Stocks. Does a great job. I think you guys, he delivers a really unique message, and I really like it. It's very sincere. So check him out. See if you like him. He's providing some valuable content. I appreciate him coming on, spending a few moments with us this evening. I hope it was time well spent. There's no doubt about it. All right. When will Hyliion turn around? Man, that's the $1 million question, Jamie. Well, if there's ever been a time where it's been ready or ripe for a turnaround, now's the time. Anyway, I just talked my voice out. You guys know you guys get the 100% maximum effort. God. That's awesome. This was an awesome live stream, man. Thank you very much. I delivered the nuggets tonight. There's no doubt about it. You guys got me crying. There's no doubt about it. Weber says, DCA, love it, man. Give us the emotion, Ryan. Hook 'em horns. Sober Trade says, get 'em, Ryan. You're the man. 20-year vehicle here. Fantastic. Awesome. Got Rebecca in the house. Shout out to you. It's great to see you, my friend. All the best to you in 2022. Got Dexter's in the house, man. Drive mix game. Hell yes. The foot stop Dexter. The problem with giving a shot out here at minute 06 is that Dexter's getting like a 9th inning shot out. Once you come on the channel with me one of these times, Dex, you guys got to understand, man, I have no problem with running this thing myself. I obviously can talk this up. I'd love to see this thing hit 100 because I will do a 24-hour live stream. You guys think I'm joking, man? And I've had a few people pick up on that, and they're like, "Damn, I'd like to see that too." I'd do it. You doubt my ability? I'll do it. But Dexter just put down a good Q&A. I still need to catch it. I've heard some reports come back through my desk that have told me that's a killer piece of content, Dexter. Thanks for everything you do, man. Be safe out there on the road and keep delivering that content, man. You just don't know how invaluable that information is to somebody like myself. And for somebody who's trying to bring people together, and it doesn't have to be around the Hyliion message. It doesn't. It has to be around the wealth building idea. If you can set yourself that much better off into the future, man, that's what we're after. We're not after getting rich overnight. We may make some money with some Hyliion. This might be the biggest mistake that I've ever made in my life. I'm prepared for either outcome. I really am. But that information that you're providing to me means that this product is actually being put in the rigor of over-the-road transport. It means a lot to me, man. Keep foot stomping the message, man. All I can tell you from the bottom of my heart is thank you. Thank you for doing what you do. You don't have to, but you choose to do, and it means a lot to us. Thank you very much. Good stuff. Let's cruise up here, man. She says I still drive a 10-year-old car. Yeah, because it's just that's the way he is. Rather have security over time, certainly. And I think that's part of the necessity. That's part of my passion about when I talk to people day to day, they want to get involved. They do. They just don't know how, and they don't understand the urgency that needs to be taken on to get to a point down the line in your life and have the greatest chance of avoiding regret. Mhm. That's what this is all about. Okay. Quality of life. That's what this is about, man. Having some perspective. So Paul's sharing that, man, to give you guys some perspective on this deal. There's no doubt about it. Okay. Adding BLK on this dip. You betcha. I like it. Very cool. I'm cruising up to make sure I got 6 more minutes. I'm going to do minute 15 in here. An hour just isn't enough for me. I love this opportunity every Friday to come out and hang out with you guys. When I first heard of a Roth in middle school, I wanted to invest with the Roth, tried to search the internet to find out who Roth IRA was and get his phone number. That's awesome, man. Well, we all live and learn, no doubt about it. And that's all part of it, is to foot stamp these different messages on these opportunities, so people who aren't so familiar with the wealth building opportunity can kind of make a little bit more commonplace this terminology, and start to kind of use and apply some of the stuff that I talk about. You don't have to say investing. You start to talk about investing, people think about it synonymous with diet, or exercise. You know what I mean? It needs to be a lifestyle change. And once you put it to somebody that way, it makes them resonate. It makes people resonate with the message a lot better. And it's just the way it goes. I do my very best, Victor. I really do have a lot of fun. There's no doubt about it, man. Very cool. Eric, great to see you. I like it. Couldn't have said it better myself. A couple more minutes, guys, as we kind of cruise down. Just drink some shout outs to some folks here, man. Andrew, great to see you. Thanks for coming and sharing your time with us in the community. We are, in fact, stronger together, no doubt about it. Briani Investor, yep, absolutely. I will be decompressing after this. I always get pretty fired up for the live stream. It's no doubt about it. If we have the opportunity to get to some of those investors, there's about 1,000. There was 100 in here tonight watching it live, but there's about 1,000 that catch the live stream after. And I always question, who are those people out there that just don't want to comment? A lot of people don't. They want to just consume content. They want to take it as internalize it. They don't want to be part of the social media experience. I've all the respect for that in the world, but I'm speaking to those people too. Those folks that are also part of the message. Super important, man. Super important. Matt's in the house. Fantastic. Great to have you, Matt. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. TGI is in the house. Drew, thanks for making your way in, man. I'm sorry about the extra innings. I was a ball player growing up, but sorry for the late shout out here. I always listen to you at a half. Yeah, listen to you at normal speed. See a little. I like a quicker you. I'll be back in 20. Enjoy your stuff. Fantastic. Yeah, I speak off the cuff, man. No real fluff, and it's not perfect, but I'm real. It's just that simple. I'm real. Try to get through to people, man. Hopefully we can get people to that end where they might not have realized that end. Hopefully we can provide them a little spark of motivation to get there. Very cool stuff, man. Very cool stuff. I'm getting kind of the end, man. A cruise up. I always review the comments afterwards. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to throw an invite here into the bottom of the thread. If any of you guys want to kick on with me, I'll check back for the next 10 minutes or so after the live stream. It's amazing some of the recipients that have taken me up on that very invite. But there it is. It's at the bottom of the thread there. Becky, you get the last comment of the night because you sum it up so well. You're such a lovely person, and thank you to you for being part of this community. Thank you to the grander independent investor audience, man. You're all part of the message. You own the message. I don't. Just that simple. Your success by administering the message is the success of the channel. There's no doubt about it. That's how I receive my payment. It's just that simple. If we can share something that works for somebody, that is, in fact, what we are after on the channel. There's no doubt about it. Thank you so much for being with us, guys. Have a great rest of the weekend. We'll catch you next Friday on the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube. Be well, guys. We'll catch you next week.